Salaries and Remuneration Commission, the SRC, approving the 2 million shilling grant to MCAs. What about health workers? I guess that's what you're asking. We're going to ask that. We're joined live with the Salaries and Remuneration Commission Chairperson, Lyn Mengich. Lyn, if you can hear me, thank you so much for joining us. So can you hear me now? Is Jeff in the studios?
Yes, Jeff, I can hear you.
Ah, wonderful. Thank you so much. We had a little audio problem. Thank you. Okay, let me ask you this, Madam Chair. Apparently there was deliberation between Council of Governors and the SRC. We haven't got any communication on that. When did that happen?
That is on the 3rd of February, which is last week, when Council of Governors officially wrote to the SRC to request for a review of the existing car loan and convert it to a grant.
Okay, but just last month, when speaking about doctors and their health risk, remember that? You said that you have to look at the equity and fairness across the public sector. How come that doesn't apply to MCAs who are now being given a grant for 2 million?
It does apply, Jeff. In considering this review, the Commission took into account two constitutional principles, which are stated in Article 230 of the Constitution. The two principles are equity and fairness, and affordability and fiscal sustainability. The Commission looked at fairness and equity in comparison to what is already provided to members of Parliament at the National Assembly. The two roles are similar. Their representative role, their legislative role is similar. So from that perspective, considering the similarity of the roles and the fact that members of Parliament do enjoy a transport benefit, we looked at that as equity that then informed the Commission to advise on the 2 million. But that is not the only principle. That has to go hand in hand with affordability and fiscal sustainability. So on that perspective, the Council of Governors confirmed to the Commission that by converting the existing car loan, they will not require additional funding, and that indeed that car grant will be within the budget for the counties, and it will not affect the expenditure as allocated by the CRA. So considering those two principles is what informed the Commission to make that decision.
Okay, you just mentioned car loan, but it's been converted, the conversion from car loan to car grant. If it was a car loan, MCAs will be responsible. Now it's a car grant. Who bears the burden? Is it the taxpayer? That 4.5 billion, what does that mean?
What it means, Jeff, is, and just to give the context, is this is a transport facilitation benefit. It is not a remuneration for the MCAs. When we talk about facilitation, it is providing a benefit that enables the individual, in this case the members of County Assembly, to discharge their official business. That is the norm, not just in Parliament or the county assemblies, even in the public sector. It is the employer who facilitates the employee to discharge the official functions. So when we look at that grant, it is from that perspective. Previously, it was a car loan. And because it was a car loan, it means that there is already funding that has been provided. And that is the funding that is being converted into a grant to facilitate the members of County Assembly to discharge their responsibilities. It is not an additional benefit that is remunerative to them.
Obviously, you know, people out there are just reading all kinds of signs in this. Obviously, politics involved and all kinds of, they call shenanigans, if you will. It doesn't seem very fair, Madam Chair, that, you know, this was granted so quickly. This 2 million shillings for MCAs so quickly. Doctors are out there struggling.
Jeff, let me put it in context that it is not the first time that this issue has been brought to the attention of the Commission. It has actually been discussed for a very long time. the only issue is that there was no funding that had been allocated. So it is actually the first time that the Council of Governors confirmed availability of funding. However, the issue has been ongoing, and once there was that confirmation of availability of funding, then the Commission then was able to give that review of the benefit.
Okay, if the health workers watching you out there now, Madam Chair, they're watching you, they're listening to you, what do you tell them? When does fairness and justice come to them?
I would tell them that this is not additional funding. I want to emphasize that the Council of Governors confirmed that they have the funding, it is already budgeted for, and it is not going to add any additional expenditure at the county level. So that is the main difference between what the health workers were demanding and what is happening in this specific benefit.
You know, the timing of this, Madam Chair, people would ask, look, this SRC, Salaries and Remuneration Commission, it doesn't seem like a very independent office because of the timing of this. What do you say?
Jeff, the timing, as you rightly say, might look that way. But let me emphasize that the Constitution itself gives independence to the Commission. And when an employer, in this case Council of Governors, make a request, we do consider it in its own merit. And therefore, it would be very unfair for the Commission to disregard the very basis of setting and reviewing benefit just because of a timing issue. So for us, we looked at this objectively, and we know that there were issues being discussed on the matter. However, it would be wrong for us to fail to advise just on the basis of what is going on, but we've got to stick to the principles that have been set in the Constitution. And we did adhere to those constitutional principles. We have confirmed there is funding. We have looked at fairness and equity, and it fits within those two principles.
All right, Madam Chair, we'll have to leave it at that. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.